Welcome back. This is a continuation of the overview of Beaver Builder. So, kind of gave you the overview of how to actually all the different elements of Beaver Builder and how you can use them, and we did a lot of concentration on the row. Now we're going to go through the individual modules and how you actually can go and edit each and every one of them. So, if you come up to the top here, so you've already got your row setting. Let's make it a little nicer. So let's say we're going to use photo, select photo. We're going to have overlay. Let's go 80%. We just want something there in the background. And for this one, let's default the height. No, let's not. Let's go default. Okay, so as we go ahead and start building out each and every page. So right here we have 2 columns. Okay, now I'm just going to go through and show you all the modules, and then there'll be some more training on actually how to do like individual rows and how we can build them out. So let me show you up in here, the corner up the top right here. We have modules, okay? Now we have our standard modules, which are all Beaver Builder modules, okay? So like I mentioned, this is Beaver Builder, and then this is going to be all the modules that come with the actual page builder. Now you can go ahead and create really nice pages with Beaver Builder without the actual add-on. So that was the next module. Well, the next module is, so that under here, under the standard modules, these are all the basic layout, action, media, post, info. These are all elements just for Beaver Builder. And like I mentioned, you can go ahead and build your page with all these elements. I tend to only build the majority, 95, 96% of my pages, more elements on those pages are going to be from Ultimate add-ons. So I'll show you that in a second. So we have the standard modules, the WordPress modules, which again, you very, very rarely are probably going to use any of these. Maybe a little bit more when it comes to building out our blogs. But these are like the standard WordPress modules that you could use. And also mixed in here are those site origin modules. So if you wanted to use the site origin Google Maps or Post Carousel, there's a few in here that we may use, but again, very, very rarely would I use any of these modules. The UABB modules are the ones that I use the majority of the time. A couple of different reasons. First reason is they are a lot more creative and advanced, and then you have a lot more control over them as well. So just to reference that, this site here this site is actually, it's software made from the same people who make our theme, Astra. So they actually made this add-on section software first, and then just recently decided to come out with their own theme, which I think is fantastic. So the modules in here, well, I'll go through these modules in a different video, but all these ones, this is where we have all our much, much more creative, new, and we have a lot more control over all these different elements. So I'm going to break down all these elements this week, but just for the video, we're going to just concentrate on the Beaver Builder elements. So I'm just showing you that's where it's under groups. That's how you kind of move. Now, it just defaults to the standard modules. So when you are building out, you just have to make sure you come down to UABB for the majority of the modules. So I'm going to run through these and just explain what each one is. So HTML, if we wanted to add some third-party software particular, we would use this. So if we go ahead and use DonorBox, for example, which is a giving software, you can get the HTML code from your DonorBox and add it in here, okay? And then, so you would just copy and paste this in. Now, I don't have anything I can pull up. You know what? I'll just pull up. So you can have all different kind of things. You can have forms. So if anyone is using any kind of forms, that's where you could embed your form into Beaver Builder that way. I'm just going to find my embed. Okay, so this is some HTML code here that I would come along, and this is for my booking form. So as you can see, it adds whatever that HTML code is. That's what it's going to add in there. Okay, so that's nice and easy. We also, if we're using short links, that we'll also get into, that's where you can add your short link. So a short link might be, if we're going to create a different slideshow, or a different header slideshow, that's where we can go ahead and add the extra, that's where we would go ahead and add our short code in there. Okay, so I wonder if I can close it. Yeah, I'm just going to delete that module. Okay, reset the columns. Okay, next one is photo. So if you just wanted to add a very basic photo, drag. So all I'm doing is clicking on the element and then dragging it over where I want it. And wherever it highlights blue there, that's where it's going to drop it. And then if it was just for a photo, I would just come along and add the image there. And then you can click on that, and then you can go ahead and make your adjustments. So whether you wanted to crop or align left or right, alignment, show a caption, or you can show a caption on hover. And you could actually have these linking off to somewhere else. So you could have this image linking off to a URL, so somewhere else on your page, on your website, or anyone else's. You could have it going to a lightbox. So that's another option. So the lightbox, I'll just show you the other option. Or you can open so you could open a file or a photo file, or it can go to a photo page. Okay, so I'm actually not even sure what photo page is, to tell you the truth. Okay, so it would take you to where this image is hosted. Again, the reason I don't use a lot of the elements on for a lot of the Beaver Builder element is because you just have more control over the other ones. So I was just going to show you on caption, show caption. Okay, so the caption would be found if you went back to edit photo. It's find the caption on the right hand side here. So you could add some caption here, some text here explaining, and then you can assign it to whether it's below photo, so it would always be showing, or if it was on hover. So that's those captions never. And then the link type, the only other one was photo lightbox I was going to show you. If you go into preview mode, lightbox is, okay, we didn't set that up, but lightbox would just allow like the photo to pop up and be shown and displayed in the image, in the website. So again, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. I've used it very, very rarely, just to add a quick photo here and there. But again, with Ultimate Beaver Builder, we would have a lot more control over that. So let me get rid of that. Next one is a separator. So if we wanted to have some images, so it's basically just a good old big old line. So we can control the height of that. You know, you can make it a nice, you wouldn't go a box, but so you can have a line just to help break things up. And then you could have this full width or custom. Now the reason it's not going full width is because our content is set to, the content row is set to, so our content width is set to fixed. Okay, but if we went full width, it would change it to all the way across. Let's keep that on that. Okay. Audio. So if you wanted to put an audio file on, this is how you could do that. So if you were a church and you wanted to have your sermons up all the time, or if you were developing like if you had a podcast and you wanted to put all your podcasts on the one page, that's where you can do it. Again, button. This is where you can create your buttons. Again, very, very similar, but I would always recommend using the other software, Ultimate add-ons. Headings. So if you wanted some test headings. Okay, you can see it there. You might not be able to, but it's really dark, so it's just the text color. Come along and have to change that. Okay. And then again, you always have this option in advanced as well for the margins. So if you wanted to just pull that down, push that down a little bit so it was closer to that separator, we can just give that a little bit of we need it at the top. So you can push that down. So you give it a little bit of extra space at the top. So you can still see this blue box. It's still, that blue box is just representing the module box, and you can see there's all that space above it. Again, you have a lot more options with the heading elements in Ultimate. If you wanted to put a video, you can just do that the same way. Now, the only one that I really use is the text editor. So if you wanted to just put some text in, this is where you would do that. I'm just going to copy and paste some of this text. Okay. So if you wanted to have text without a header, this is really the only time I ever use this, is if I was adding text and I didn't want to have a header. Yeah. Again, this is why I typically don't use it, because it just doesn't give you a lot of options. Okay. So if you were just adding just some pure text, that's pretty much the only time I go to that section, is the standard. Again, I'll go through these tabs. Would be, so if you wanted to have a, I'll show you on Ultimate. Just trying to find it. The only thing I'm not really keen on with the Ultimate add-ons is how you go and look at all the modules, which is why I'm going to break it down into videos and give you guys some examples for each module before you have to come and dig around in here. Okay, I am looking for... Okay, tabs. So advanced tabs. So if you wanted to put all your info somewhere and be able to come and hover along and use these tab sections, that's very similar to what we were just looking at with these advanced tabs. But again, it's just going to give you a lot more flexibility, and you guys get all that. You guys have access to Ultimate add-ons, so that's why I would recommend using it. So again, we'll go through all these elements, but does the same thing. It's the same kind of module, so I'm not going to dive too deep into that. Accordions, a similar thing with... It's very similar to this, but it's more of a... advanced accordions. So it's kind of like typically used for frequently asked questions, but this is just this one's a little bit more advanced because you can put, as you can see, you can really kind of lay it out and put different images and photos and cool stuff in. But we'll probably use that section for frequently asked questions. Is the most commonly used for that. Pricing table, again, probably better to show you on I'm sure you all kind of get what the pricing table is. All right, well, we'll just have a quick play with it in here. So your pricing table, if you wanted to add some pricing, which I just to kind of show you on my side then. Pricing. So if you wanted to go ahead and make these kind of pricing tables, and these kind of ones in particular, or some bigger pricing tables, that's how you would do it in here. So you would just click on it, edit the pricing box. Let me just say test. Test price. Now that's just going to be the title, and to actually have it displayed. One feature, so add features. If you wanted to duplicate it, you have to save it so you can actually preview it. So that's how you would kind of go ahead and do a pricing box. And then you come over to style, and whether it's, you can highlight the price there. That's going to highlight the top bit. Then you just got different sections. So to edit all the colors and images, it would be under style in here, accent colors. So yeah, like I mentioned, I'm not going to dive too deep into this. I don't know if many of you have pricing boxes that you need, but there will be another video in there to show you how to do it in more advanced using Ultimate add-ons. What's the next one? Sidebar, very similar. I'm just going to skip that because I've never even used it. Actions, call to actions. So you might just have like a big call to action box. You can kind of see it. Let me change the color. It's going to have to... So yeah, you might have a call to action. Typically, it's just a row with a little bit of text, usually on one side, and a button on the other side. Again, most of that's going to come from this section here. I don't know. I think they call it something different. Call to action. So this is the call to action bar here. So it's a header, bit of text, and a button. And again, it just gives you different options. So again, I would always use the add-ons because it just gives you a lot more flexibility, customization. Call out, very similar. Contact form. Again, if you wanted to add a very simple contact form, that's how you do it. Go ahead, send the email to whatever address you want those emails to be sent to. You can show or hide the name. So if you were just collecting emails for something, which you probably wouldn't on a contact form, you'd be using your subscription forms. So again, it just gives you some options there. Menu. So if you wanted to put a menu inside of somewhere, I probably would maybe use this somewhere. Let me drag that up to here. Okay, so I'd probably use the menu if you were going to add a menu somewhere, horizontal or vertical. Now, the reason you have this bar here is because of the way this menu is set up. So I would just go ahead and create a new menu if you weren't going to have the donate button in there. So you got a few ways you can go and change the colors. and all that kind of fun stuff. Now, I'm just going to show you the revisions if we can. So I've saved it. I'm going to go back to Page Builder and go to Revisions. And this is where you can pull up your older revisions. Oh yeah, I messed up. So I'm going to go back to here and apply. So that's how you would use your revisions. Next section, menu, social buttons. You could use social buttons again on here. So this is social share buttons. So this would ultimately share the page. Oops, I didn't save it. Oh, let's go to revisions. Okay, it's not that one. Okay. Okay. So yeah, they're the social buttons, social share buttons. Subscribe form, again, if you were putting people on a mailing list, you could do it with this section here, module here. Depending on what service, you got all the services integrated again. Okay, and next you have, if you wanted to create a slideshow, go ahead and do that. These are going to be all different sizes, but just to kind of show you. So you have your little slideshow here, and then you can change all the different elements here, or all the different customization here. If you were going to put a map somewhere, Google Map, you have to go and find the address and then put that in. And there's a couple of other things we need to do to validate that. So again, we'll show you that using Ultimate add-ons. Icon groups, icons. If you just needed a quick icon somewhere, you can pull up your icons. So we needed that. We need this in a light color so we can see it. There we go there. Size, we can change that to whatever size you want. I don't know if you guys can see that. Go huge then. So if you needed a quick icon somewhere, content slider. Again, this is a little bit more advanced because we're going in and setting up different so you can go ahead and put content slider. So it's not quite it's not an image slider. It's not like a gallery. You could add a different kind of like videos and things. But again, I'm not going to get too much into that. Testimonials. Again, if you had some testimonials you wanted to put in, you just drag them in. I'll show you how to customize all these. Don't worry too much. I'm going to show you how you can customize them, but using Ultimate add-ons. Posts. So this is where if we were going to have our posts, our blogs displayed on like typically the front page of a site, you can see that's how they're done here. Again, it's much better to use the other one, Ultimate add-ons. Post slider, post carousel, info, numbers, number counter. If you wanted to have, you guys can't see it because it's. So I'm sure you've seen these before. Oh. So yeah, percentage numbers and countdowns. So that's all the modules within inside Beaver Builder itself. The next video I'm going to go through and I'm going to break down all the modules in Ultimate add-ons and then show you how to customize each of those as we kind of go through them. So if you do have any issues with using any of these and you really wanted to use some of these, a couple of things, just shoot me a message in the group, in the Facebook group, and I'll show you how to use that if you have any issues. Or you can link off to their support, which is going to be in their knowledge base, and you can find it for all their different you can go ahead and just search this for whatever modules in module overviews. So you can go ahead and find these module overviews in each and every one of the Beaver Builder modules. Anyway, I hope that was helpful. I hope it hasn't overwhelmed you too much. But I really, really hope that once you get the ability and the confidence to build out these pages and how the rows work and how the rows and the columns kind of all interact together, then you're really going to be able to have some fun with going and using these modules in a really creative way. So I'm really excited to show you some of the really creative modules in the next video. So I will see you over in the next video for the Ultimate Add-ons video.